Se liga só, oportunidade para você fazer parte do Brandão Team. Vou deixar o link aqui na descrição, vem fazer parte do meu time. Temos aí uma equipe completa para te dar todo o apoio, fazer toda a estrutura de dieta, de treino, em busca da sua evolução. Vem fazer parte do meu time.
Camiseta.
Good. Good. Push, push, come on.
I saw you.
Salve, rapaziada do canal. Vídeozão começando pra vocês. Hoje, sexta-feira, vamos treinar peito e tríceps. Hoje é o quarto dia de treino seguido e amanhã é dia de descanso. Talvez nós vamos descansar sábado e domingo, mas a gente não sabe ainda. Senão domingo vai ser leg day. E é isso, hoje exatamente 3 semanas para o ano do Brasil. Então, daqui a 3 semanas estaremos aí no último dia de carb up antes do ano do Brasil. Cabeça tá milhão, 100% focado em ir lá e apresentar um físico melhor do que no ano de high. E essa é a nossa meta. Então vamos pra cima trabalhar.
Drive. Come on, Hans. Good. Work hard. Come on. Stay open. Squeeze through that chest cavity and stay loaded. Come on. Good. Work hard. Good. Last phase. Just push the set now. Push the set hard. Come on. Good.
Eu tava me sentindo lixo. Não treinando, olha só como é que. Olha como encheu. Caramba.
Pai tem a genética.
Tô voltando, cara. Tô voltando. Eu treino a panturrilha, tá doendo. O que vocês acham? Todo campeonato que ele for competir, se tiver o amador, eu posso ir junto e competir também.
Você tem que aquecer ele, Pinduca.
Não, o Nil vai estar junto. Se o Nil não tiver, óbvio, vou estar lá aquecendo com ele. Mas se eu vou, o profissional é horário diferente do amador. Não conflita,
verdade.
Não é ao mesmo tempo. Geralmente o amador é primeiro, entendeu? Porque o profissional é a estrela é depois.
Você tem 3 semanas.
É, não para esse não dá tempo porque estamos em cima, mas depois que eu tiver no shape, já tiver com percentual baixo, eu posso competir várias vezes, entendeu? Várias vezes. Então escreve aí nos comentários se você quer ver eu competindo também no dia que o Brandão compete. Aí vai ser o dobro de história para vocês de competição.
One more. Stay strong, come on. Fucking strong. Super strong now, come on, work hard. Come on. Last phase. Stay in the game. Let's go, come on. Load that chest back, come on. Good. Keep working. Good. Last phase and come on, push it through. Last rep. Good. Man, fucking do it, big arms.
Like, change. Less stretch.
Changing a lot.
Você tá fazendo dieta?
Tô fazendo dieta. Eu só parei com os dias que eu fiquei doente, porque doente não deve fazer dieta. Quem tiver doente, fizer dieta, corre risco de vida. Entendeu? O corpo precisa de energia para vencer a doença. Então não se faz dieta quando está doente.
E o peso tá como?
Meu peso está estável, 100 quilos. Mas eu sei que eu tô com menos gordura e eu tô conseguindo ganhar massa muscular. Eu sinto isso, é só eu bater o olho no espelho e ver que eu tô melhorando e ganhando volume também. Tô fazendo tudo direito. Essa é a diferença quando se faz tudo direito, né? Aí, achou o movimento. Isso. Tá fácil. Isso. Ótimo. Vamos lá. Drive. Cabeça no banco. Vai. Drive. Vamos lá. Tem mais. I tried. Okay.
Right, you spot me.
4, 5.
Ajuda ele.
1 or 3.
Okay.
1 ou 3.
I feel my strength is okay. It's my shoulder stability. Understand? This like it hurts my shoulder.
Yeah.
But I may not be strong enough for it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Go. Yeah. One more. Good. One more. 4. Yeah. 5. 6. Yeah. Good work. Mandito. Make a rotation.
Yeah.
For
my
strong your shoulder.
But the problem is, I have bone-to-bone contact.
Contact.
So like the bone is worn.
Yeah.
So even though I can do stability and mobility exercises, the bone is still worn.
I
That's the
understand.
problem, you know.
Yeah. But if you make the rotation to right,
Yes.
is good for separate the bone.
Yes.
Yes.
The joint. Yes. Understand.
Yes, for
My mobility is terrible because it feels like there is no cushion, so it feels like there's bone on bone all the time.
Yeah.
So when I work on mobility exercises, the pain and discomfort is horrendous.
Yeah, I have it.
and it never gets better.
I had this problem.
Yeah.
But I started training the mandíbula.
Yes.
And for the rotation for right
Yes.
and left is very good for separate the bone.
The bones from
Yes.
each other. I'll have to do more.
Don't more pain in my shoulder.
I'm old. Everything's old. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, no, but new
The
hair.
hair, yeah. The hair leave.
Right hand. Be strong now. Come on.
Manter a cabeça no banco, se concentra só em fazer a força, não precisa olhar. Eu ajudo você a sair só. Isso. Come on, drive. Isso. Mantém esse ritmo, vai. Isso, contração total. Boa. Vamos. Come on. Isso. Easy. Come on. Drive, drive, drive. Yeah. One more. Go. Yeah. One more. Go. Good. Yeah. Come on, coach. Drive. Good.
No.
Yeah. Às vezes, menos é mais. Então, regredir a carga para fazer melhor faz parte do treino.
Put quarter now.
Yeah.
And do more reps.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Or
What's a quarter?
wanna do like drop set. What do you prefer?
Did you get much shoulder flexion just now or not really?
With the last one a little bit.
Okay, let's do this then. We do 3 plates and we drop a plate.
Right.
And then we do as many reps and we drop a plate.
Right.
But stay fucking strong, half. Okay? Strong on each phase, alright? Drop set. Strong, strong. Clear your mind. Don't rush it. Good push and stay engaged with your chest now. Come on. Good. Good. Excellent. Good. Come on. 8, 9. Good. 10. Up. Good set. Rest up now. Rest. 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 Okay. Strong. Let's go. Drive. Come on. Push. Drive. Good. Push. Drive. Good set.
Os ombros estão todo fibrando, as fibras todas aparecendo. Aqui não tem local. Aqui é de verdade.
Assim.
Perfeito. Dá pra colocar a mão um pouquinho acima do umbigo na hora, viu? Vai ficar mais fácil ainda.
Nice and slow now. Slow. 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 That's better. Now it's looking like, you know that picture we took maybe like 2 weeks out? I'll have to find it. That's what it kind of looks a bit like now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know that last most muscular we posted, which was about maybe 10 days out, 2 weeks out from the show? That's what's looking like now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your back is more dense, you know, there's a little bit more hardness in your muscle groups. Very good. 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 It's all that fine detail, right?
Yeah.
And if we were to... Good. That's it. Very good, man.
That's a good good.
Você está posando mais baixo, ficou muito melhor. Você viu que compararam a sua posição de hoje com a do passado?
But 3 weeks out, you know, it's definitely better.
Está posando mais baixo, está saindo mais o femoral.
Very good.
Good. Força. Força. Good. Força de campeão. Isso.
Perfect.
Come on. Sentiu, né? Sentiu, né? A fibra gritando.
Probably like 30-40% of your genetic potential. That's what I feel that you are.
Really?
Yeah, I feel that you have another 50 to 60% of being able to. I'm not saying you're going to put 60% more muscle.
Yeah, but
60%
condition and
more fucking quality.
quality. Yeah, I
You know,
understand.
like 10, 12 pound of muscle, but the density and the refinement and the intricacy and the symmetry and the proportions are just mind-blowing.
Isso é bom de ouvir. Sorrisinho. Tô fingindo costume, mas por dentro tô feliz.
O que aconteceu?
Ritalina de noite.
De noite você não dorme.
É, o que você faz?
Come on, coach.
Fazia tempo.
Você conseguiu quebrar o platô que a gente estava. Agora você subiu um degrau. Daqui pra frente agora é só recompensa.
Só subir.
Só recompensa.
Não, só trabalhar.
Não,
mais,
trabalhar pra caralho. O trampo tem que ser feito. Mas o teu corpo vai reagir ao trampo.
Good job.
Good job, motherfuckers.
Ó, tá coçando o pneu.
Não, esse celular que não para de tocar, essas empresas do caralho.
Yeah.
Aí eu tenho que olhar pra ver se não é minha esposa, né?
É verdade.
Porque se minha esposa estiver ligando e eu não atender, ela vai ficar muito brava.
Excellent, come on. Just a little deeper on your left side. Better. Good, that's perfect. Perfect, come on. Strong, strong, strong. Work hard. Come on. Good. Perfect, come on. Good. Push, push, push. Excellent, drive, drive, come on. Work hard, Pat, come on, work fucking hard. Good, come on. Strong, connect, squeeze. Good set.
Lembra de ficar um pouquinho mais largo assim.
Because it looks just, you know, it's harder and denser than it was.
Não sei se o adutor ficou melhor, assim, colocando o pé assim pro lado. Isso aí, ó. Então o adutor ficar melhor. Very good. Very good.
Definitely denser. Keep working. Come on, Harris. Keep working, come on. Keep the tricep loaded now. Good. Drive. Bom?
Foi.
That's good. Because my shoulder is not behind it. Good. Keep working. Come on, half good. Come on. Perfect. Good.
Tá usando um pouquinho do anterior, sabia? No ombro. Isso, Rafa, perfeito. Agora você está fazendo igual ele.
Good, perfect.
Eu prefiro assim.
Excellent. Good.
Viu? Sentiu mais
Aham.
tríceps?
Fica mais difícil.
Fica mais difícil também. Porque você não está usando mais o ombro anterior. É que nem quando a gente faz a lavadeira aqui, ó. Se você vai fazer a lavadeira aqui, ó, você põe aqui, você faz assim. Aí o ombro, você usa o ombro anterior no começo pra fazer a lavadeira.
Nem sabia o nome disso.
Lavadeira. Você não vai lavar roupa? Lavadeira. E aí, velho, aqui tem história, conhecimento, caralho.
He's got that weight he's on his fucking own.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Let him fucking work. You understand?
Yeah.
And be
You
smart,
with me?
guys, with your warm-up sets. Remember, you can never do too many warm-ups, right?
Yeah.
You can never do too many fucking warm-ups. Just you're better off spending 10 minutes doing 2 or 3 extra warm-ups than not doing enough, and then you pick up a fucking nasty injury. Because you two have the ability to make some fucking incredible changes together.
Yeah.
Yes, man, incredible changes.
Ok, I promise.
Good, come on now. Good, perfect. Textbook. Come on now. Keep working hard, Pat. Come on, you got 5 reps there, definitely. Don't fucking doubt yourself. Come on. Come on. 2, push. 2, come on. Drive, and again. Come on. Work fucking hard. Good. Strong. Good set. Good set.
Naturalmente, às vezes você levantou o cotovelo para ajudar com o peito. Ficou pesado.
Vai roubando.
No final deu uma roubada. Natural. Na continuação. Milimetricamente.
Continuar fazendo o que a gente tá fazendo.
Vamos.
E por mais intensidade, saber
Isso, vamos
hora de arrebentar,
e
hora de
acrescentar
desacelerar.
as coisas que está dizendo pra gente e algumas coisas que a gente tem feito aqui que podem ser reproduzidas no off mesmo. Porque para manter a mesma visão e o mesmo caminho, mesmo treinando diferente.
Like for me, I'm not easy to train with, right? Because when I go to the gym, there's a fucking reason and there's a purpose, right?
Right.
It's like polite conversation before you train, great. But when you're training, there's no conversation.
Yeah.
The conversation is the exercise.
Yeah.
There is zero conversation. There's no laughing, there's no joking. It's fucking work.
Okay.
Yes, it's fucking work. And then once that work is done, then you can talk, guys, right? But when you walk into this gym, remember, it's your fucking one moment in time. And you only need to train 5 days a week, maybe 4. So you're only going to train 5 days a week. You can create incredible muscle stimulus and growth and development. Let's just say each workout is 1.5, 2 hours maximum. That's 10 hours a week. That's nothing. 10 hours of fucking intensity, effort, purpose, and knowing exactly what you want and achieve together in that moment, right? Because everything that you do today is the results that you'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
But remember how many days there are in a fucking year, right?
That's true.
1, 2. Okay, come on. Pode deixar.
Missão dada, missão cumprida. Exatamente, a nossa missão aumentou, então a seriedade vai ser o dobro. Ah, vão até me estranhar, você pode ter certeza.
Strong. That's it. Come on, Pat.
Deixa o cotovelo baixo. Isso, tríceps, tríceps. Isso,
Super engaged. Come on.
tríceps.
You're a fucking machine. Just do it. Come on. Good. Come on, Pat.
Boa.
Break it down. Break it down. Work hard. Come on. Good. Push. Good.
Good.
Make sure, hey, I need you to film this. I always feel guilty when I see content because you obviously see the guys training together and doing everything, but you don't see what goes on behind the scenes. With Lucas and Arthur, you guys are creating such incredible content. And it's a little unfair sometimes because I think the athletes get the attention, which they deserve, obviously trainer, but there's also a team behind Rafael, and every single team member has a massive active role and a part in the process of what's taking place. So I just want to say a massive shout out to you, Lucas, and also you, Arthur. You guys are fucking awesome.
Thank you, coach.
You're welcome.
I promise I will make all things that you say today.
Yeah, just purpose. That remember that you have you know what you need, you know what you're chasing for, and you're not chasing anything which is not achievable. You understand? Like, you know, when I'm doing social media posts, and quite often I go on and do a live, and the biggest interaction at the moment is people from Brazil. And the same question, how long is it going to take to win Olympia? How long is it going to take? It's a fucking process. Not everyone can win an Olympia title. Not everyone can win a pro card. That doesn't mean you're a lesser individual or lesser athlete. It's just remember, everyone can be good at something. Everyone can be great at something. Everyone can be incredible at something. But we can't all be incredible and good at all the same things. What you're chasing is achievable. But there has to be structure, there has to be identity, there has to be purpose, there has to be accountability, and there has to have self-belief. There's a time where you obviously need to fucking rest. There's a time that you sleep. There's a time you walk, run, and sprint. But you guys are in a really good place because your goals and ambitions in life within the health and fitness industry are very, very achievable. My message in this is, understand, I keep saying this, everything worth having in life takes time. Anything in life which is worth having takes time. And you're going to have setbacks, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall. There's times you're going to doubt yourself, feel sorry for yourself. But the reality of it is, none of those things are going to change anything. You have to self-believe in your desire to progress, no matter what that is. And I'm not trying to do a little motivational speech. I don't do motivational speeches because I've said this before time and time again. We could go to watch and listen to a motivational speaker out there and we walk out that environment and you think, fuck, I can achieve this. But you're going to go to bed, you're going to sleep, you're going to wake up the next day and all of the life struggles are still there. So I feel that without the self-belief and the desire for you to progress in life, no matter how many motivational speakers or books or quotes that you read, that doesn't change anything. Everything changes from within yourself, right? Yes. And I'm just excited and happy to be here in Brazil with the guys. You know, it gives me great pride to be a part of everything. And also what makes me feel good at night is I can put my head on a pillow and know that this gentleman here is going to be the captain of the ship, which means I don't have to steer the path because this gentleman's got all the pressure and responsibility. Yes. And that's a great thing about having a great team, right? Is that you all lean on each other when needed. You sit down, we talk. It's very often myself and Rafael and coach here, trainer, will have discussions about, okay, so what's the game plan moving forward? Because remember, 2, 3, 4 minds are always greater than one, right? And that's one thing that you have to understand as well. Even though I may have my own philosophies and theories towards training, nutrition, supplementation, my programs are not all the same. They can be very different based on each individual. So you have to be very open-minded and understanding of that. It's very, very important in life.
Depois disso, se vocês não pegarem tudo que ele falou, eu vou fechar esse canal, hein? Quero like, quero comentário, quero tudo aqui, inscrição nova, porque o que ele acabou de dizer aqui vale ouro. Você entendeu? E tá traduzido, hein? Não esquece de clicar lá para ver a tradução se você não entende o inglês. Tá bom? Vamos derrubar o like aí. E também tá faltando quantos para 400 mil?
Tá quase, tá quase.
Tá quase. Então já lembra que eu falei? Não esquece. Pega o celular da sua irmã, sem ela ver, vai lá e inscreve ela no canal. Tamo junto.
Thank you, coach.
That's okay. I want I want our translator now to translate everything. Lucas is multi-talented, all right? Best translator in Columbus, Ohio. The guy saved our asses multiple times. So I'm talking, everyone's looking at me and nodding, probably thinking I have no idea what he's saying. And the translator's not quick enough to translate. And then this gentleman starts talking and I'm thinking, I have no idea what he's saying, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.